Hello, everybody, and welcome in to another edition of Lectures Revisited, where I, a stutterer, practice the most iconic speeches and impactful speeches of all time to practice my speech. And today's speech is a speech that got JFK killed, a speech that calls against the entire mechanism that puts a veil over all of us in order to keep power. Many of you know this speech, maybe by heart. Well, I am here to practice it today. Without any further ado, let's begin. The very word secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society. And we are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies, to secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. We decided long ago that the dangers of excessive and unwarranted concealment of pertinent facts far outweighs the dangers which are cited to justify them. Even today, there is little value in opposing the threat of a closed society by imitating its arbitrary restrictions. Even today, there is little value in ensuring the survival of our nations if our traditions do not survive with it. And there is very grave danger that and an unfounded need for increased security will be seized upon by those anxious to expand its means to the very limits of excessive censorship and concealment. That I do not intend to permit to the extent it is in my control. And no official of my administration, whether it's high or low, civilian or military, should interpret my words here tonight as an excuse to censor the news, to stifle dissent, to cover up our mistakes, or withhold from the press and the public the facts they deserve to know. But we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its sinners are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned. No rumor is vetted. No secret is revealed. No president should fear public scrutiny of this program. For from that scrutiny comes understanding. And from that understanding comes support for opposition, and both are necessary. I'm not asking your newspapers to support my administration, but I am asking for help of the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people. And the response and the dedication of our citizens when they are fully informed, I welcome it. This administration intends to be candid about his errors. As a wise man once said, an error does not become a mistake until you refuse to correct it. And we stand to accept full responsibility for our errors and for you to point them out when we miss them. Without criticism, no nation can succeed and no republic can survive. And that is why our press was protected by the First Amendment, the only business in America specifically protected by the Constitution, not primarily to amuse and entertain, and not to dramatize the trivial and sentimental not to give the public what they want, but to inform and arouse and to state our dangers and opportunities, to indicate or to lead, to educate, and to sometimes even anger. This means greater coverage and analysis of international news, for it is no longer far away and foreign, but close in hand and local. It means greater attention to improved understanding of the news, as well as improved transmission. It means, finally, that government at all levels must meet its obligation to provide you with the fullest possible information outside of the narrow scope of national security. And so it is to the printing press, the recorder of man's needs, the keeper of his conscience, the courier of his news, that we look for strength and assistance, confident that with your help, man will be what was born to be, free and independent. Whew, that was a hard one. That was pretty rocky through there. Wow. I never realized exactly how JFK spoke until I tried to speak it myself. He's very staccato. He has these phrases and these pauses. And there is A and there is B. And there is A and B. And then B and then A. It's really interesting how he has this pattern. And obviously the writing of the speech is that of a speech. It's not necessarily that of how one would talk, but it's written in how one would strive to imagine how to express themselves if they had the time to spell it all out. Because adding on multiple prepositional phrases on and on and on, like comma, 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 and having it hit over and over and over, that is hard to do. And the overall composition of the writing, I love his words. Obviously, he to not write every single word of it, but whoever wrote this was an absolute wordsmith. And even the speed, he starts off slow and then picks up, and at the end he slowed back down. I had a lot of struggle at that middle part. I'm pretty sure I missed a few of the words because I'm actually listening to it, trying to catch their cadence in real time and try and mimic that. It's hard to even talk normally, but this is the path I'm on. And that is it for today's speech. Thank you.